that very moment, I realized that we had nowhere to go. My husband and I and my son, we had to go into a shelter system, and were all in one room. We had to share the bathroom. It was deplorable conditions. We had never lived in anything like that before. And we stayed there for approximately a little bit over a month. And it was a challenging situation at that time because I was a college student. And I had a young son that I had to care for, and my husband had to work. And it was a challenge because I had to look for a place, and I still had to fulfill my other obligation, my educational obligations of studying, of meeting deadlines for research projects and homework assignments, and that was very, very hard for me to do, given the circumstances that we were all in one room, and I didn't have the time or the place to have concentration and be able to study. So I found it challenging. I had to find someone to care for my son so that I could study on campus and be able to meet my deadlines. And although it was a challenge, I was able to do so. However, I wish that there would have been services on campus that would have been able to help me be able to have a better support system and transition from that difficult time in my life.
When I turned 18, I was kicked out of my parents' house, and I put everything into my car and drove off. I had no plan or really anything I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to finish college and do that and just kind of be successful in my own right. At that point in time, I was going to community college in Los Angeles, and I was living in my car working as a waiter. I would crash at friends' couches when I could, and stay with my ex-girlfriend when I could as well. I was completely self-sufficient and self-supportive. I didn't get any money from FAFSA or anything like that. I couldn't apply as an independent because I had no documentation of the emotional and physical abuse I endured. And because of that, I was completely on my own. I was doing homework while I was waiting tables on the same packets that I received to take orders on in between waiting tables. I had luckily I was able to have some space due to the library hours in order to study there, because the libraries at my community college were open until 12 or 1 in the morning, which was nice, so I could focus, and I did struggle with that a lot. Eventually, I was able to kind of transfer, and I ended up here once I just saved up all the money I could and came here with very little. And I was lucky enough when I got here to be able to finish my degree, and I'm graduating in May.
My story is around really the struggle that we had to find secure housing. We were bused from the Rockaways to Queensborough Community College, where we stayed in their gymnasium for a few days. And then after that, we were moved here to Queens College, where we stayed in the Q Cafe here. And, hundreds of families from Rockaways, from all over Queens, all over Staten Island, were really hurting. And one of the struggles for me during the storm, even though I was trying my best to help out with the relief effort, was really just being a student. Having my home being displaced, and my school was displaced too, because our school got flooded out, and there was also an oil leak in the school because of the storm surge. I just wasn't focused on being an 11th grader. At that point, I was just bouncing around, and being an 11th grader at the time just wasn't on my mind. I was in school maybe 2 or 3 days a week, but most of the other parts of the week I was focused on where we're going to stay and what was the next move, and filling out this FEMA paperwork and that FEMA paperwork, whatever the case was. And I was able to make it through 11th grade, but that year was a really trying year for all of us at the school. We were able to move back in our school building about January, February of 2013, but it just wasn't the same. There were so many students that were still displaced and still negatively affected. But thank God we had teachers who also were affected, sadly, as well, but they were really trying their best to get to work and really make the best of the situation. Student homelessness and student housing insecurity affects people who suffer through natural disasters, suffer through accidents and events and things like that. And there really should be a place for us to tell our stories, for us to be able to still continue to be students so that we can learn and so that we can still continue on our career paths. But it's really tough to do that if there's no places.
It could be me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.